Hey guys, it's Joe. Ooh, look at Marty. That is the Marty in SWTOR. Welcome to my little random rambling about Star Wars: The Old Republic. Got to play the beta over the weekend, and I was very skeptical. I've played a few MMOs and things since I've been playing WoW over the years. Rift was the first thing to really take me away for about 2 months. Problem was, the endgame wasn't very good, and I got very bored with it, and that's where I stopped. Now, SWTOR has been something I've been interested in for a while, simply because it's Star Wars. Why wouldn't I? I am a geek of many colors. And many interests in Star Wars, of course, is a requirement. So, from that standpoint, I was curious. But what made me more curious is the fact that BioWare was doing it, and they did the Knights of the Old Republic console games, and, well, the PC as well. But, so I wondered how much of an MMO feel this game would have. Would it be simply a port, or a near port, of the Knights of the Old Republic? And in some ways, I have to say, yes, it is. The cutscenes and the conversations, the opportunities you have in the conversations to insert yourself in your decisions, with the light and the dark side points, which I'll explain here in a bit, that sort of thing very much seems like that sort of thing. Now, the rest of the time, as you're seeing right now, the gameplay you're seeing right now, excuse me, is very much the MMO moments in the game. There's plenty of them, but sometimes it takes a while to get through them because there's so many cutscenes. Every quest giver is a bit of a cutscene, even if it's short. There's a cutscene with dialogue. Now, that is tremendously admirable in terms of how much time and effort they put into all that voice acting. I can only imagine how many hours of voice acting is in this game. It beats reading quest text easily. It engages you into the story. It makes you want to see the next bit of it. I was very impressed. I got very addicted pretty quickly due to that fact. There's not a whole lot that you have to know once you start playing. Everything gets explained to you from the quest givers and everything. Now, the only negative to that is that you don't have a lot of opportunity to get out of those conversations. Meaning, it's going to slow down your questing, your leveling quite a bit. And there's going to be times where you do just want to wield your lightsabers. As you can see, this is Marty. I failed to mention, he is, I think, level 10 at this point. Which is where you, just like WoW, you get your talent trees, you can pick your spec, and all that fun stuff. I decided to go with my Jedi Knight, who is basically a warrior, if you're familiar with WoW. And instead of a tank, I chose a melee DPS, which is while he's dual-wielding lightsabers, which is... It was too cool not to pick. I knew I wasn't going to play long enough to do dungeons and worry about tanking, so I was going to be questing, and I wanted to dual-wield. Anyway, so there is no way to back out of the conversations with quest givers that I'm aware of. Some of those cutscenes can last a decent amount of time as well, and there were times when I was itching to keep going and keep playing, and the conversations, I'll be honest, there was times when it just bored me to the point where I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stop for a little bit because I don't want to sit here and listen to this conversation. I just want to play. So it did dissuade me a little bit from time to time, but not very often. It just depends. Now, the starting zone was fine. I enjoyed it very much, at least from the standpoint of being a starting zone, of course. It was more in-depth in terms of story than I expected, and that's, again, where I got wrapped up in the story, and I was surprised that I really cared about what I was doing, and I wanted to see the next bit. Now, there is a lot of running around, but of course, it's low level. We're used to that in MMOs, so there's a decent amount of transports around. You do have a Hearthstone of sorts, which really is nice because when you use it, you don't just go to the one place you have it bound to. You actually have multiple locations. As long as you bind yourself to them, you can use that at any point to go to any of those. So yeah, you do have the cooldown. It's a 30-minute cooldown, but you can still go to multiple places. Now, let's see what else is there. Yeah, the cutscenes is a big source of contention. It feels very single player. I haven't grouped a lot. I had to group to do a group quest, which was in a cave. It was some kind of heroic type, they called it, which I'm assuming is their version of a group quest, with had an elite in it that you couldn't solo at the level that we were at. And yeah, and then there's another elite that there's some of us that wanted to kill him and get some of the loot off him, so we grouped for that. Other than that, I haven't had to group at all. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how the grouping works. I don't know how the dungeons are going to work. I don't know, and this is what really concerns me, is how the end game is going to work, because this is all great. I love this. I'll have no problem leveling characters. Now, I will have a problem at some point if I want to level alts, and I have to go through these quest cutscenes over and over and over again without a way of getting out of them. I guess I shouldn't totally say that. You can get out of the scenes, but you don't get the quest at the end of it. So you have to go through the whole scene to get to the quest, which there should be a way to speed that up. Now, I don't mind maybe the class stories, because every class has their own storyline. If those are required that you have to go through, that's fine by me. But some of the side quests and stuff, kill 10 of these creatures or whatever else, I don't need a big story. And I did struggle with giving you guys footage on this because there are so many cutscenes, but this was a big section where I had several quests that I was just able to run around and do. So this is the most that I remember actually playing the game straight through without having to stop and start with quests, cutscenes and things. But anyway, so that's probably my biggest source of contention with the game at this point. As much it's and not even contention, it's good and bad. I love the concept. I think it's great. It's just sometimes it's a bit much, and you have no option. You have to do it. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But ultimately, the main concern I have is the end game, the dungeons, the raids, and things like that. Will the grouping feel like WoW? Will it have that real good feel that WoW has for that sort of thing? Rift didn't for me. Rift felt very clunky, and I didn't really enjoy the end game in the dungeons over and over again. I didn't enjoy them at all. So anyway, but that's my take on SWTOR at this point. I'm really jazzed about it overall. It's going to be a great distraction from WoW. It is not going to replace WoW for me by any stretch. My friends and everything is, they're in WoW, and I'll continue to play that as my main game. But this is a great distraction. This is, to me, a great merging of console and PC gaming, with the single player kind of feel to it some of the time, and then the MMO feel where you're running around and doing quests like this. I think it's certainly a great Star Wars game. How it will end up being seen as an MMO, I'm not totally sure. But being a Star Wars fan, heck, to be at level 10 and just grabbing 2 lightsabers as you're seeing right now and just mess up all these characters, that was a blast. And I didn't get sick of that at all. I could have kept going. But the servers are down. For me, as far as I know, the beta for my particular weekend is done, and I will not be able to play again till it starts. But, so within that, I'll give some more information as it comes out. I think you guys get a lot of that as it is, but I have an idea for a series that I want to do with SWTOR. I haven't decided exactly how I want to go about it, but yeah, if it works out the way I want it to, it's going to be pretty good, and I think you guys will dig it. There's the talent trees real quick. So, anyway, thanks again, guys. I apologize again for how skewed the video releases have been. I will get things squared away here. It's just a matter of this week getting everything kind of sorted out and planned. So, alright, guys, take care, and I will see you again soon.